What's up, guys? Today I wanted to go over 5 reasons why you should buy the S22 Ultra over the 14 Pro here. So I actually do have my main SIM in the S22 Ultra, and I want to go over my reasonings why. So before I put my main SIM in here, I was using the iPhone 13 Pro. I really love that phone. I actually sold it to get the 14 Pro, but I haven't been in a rush to switch SIMs back to iPhone here, and I want to explain what makes the S22 Ultra so great. Alright, so one of the first things that I really like about the S22 Ultra over the 14 Pro is actually the display. So Apple did improve the display design this year. We used to have the notch, as you guys can see right there, the old school notch. Now it's been replaced with the dynamic island display, which is very cool. It changes and animates and stuff, and the reason why the notch is so big here is because it does house the Face ID. Now with the S22 Ultra, we have a much smaller punch hole, which does allow you to do face unlock, and it actually does the under the display fingerprint sensor, so you actually get 2 methods, which I always say is something that I really appreciate with Android devices, having face unlock and having a very secure fingerprint scanner as well. But not only that, is if you're really big into content, it's not really the quality of these 2 panels, because they're both excellent quality panels here. It really comes down to what you're doing in full screen. And I know this might sound a little bit petty, but it really does make you have to go over this petty stuff when you're paying for phones at like $1,000, right? So you can see when you're watching content on these 2 phones here in full screen, you see a big difference in terms of the viewing experience, right? You have a much bigger intrusive notch versus Samsung's, very small punch hole. So it's almost like the, Apple's pill shape is like maybe 4 of those little Samsung cutouts, and it does make a difference not only in the viewing experience but also when you're playing games as well too. So whatever you're doing on your phone, you get a more immersive experience with the S22 Ultra, and I just think it looks better. Also, I'm a huge fan of curved displays as well. I think it gives the phone a more luxury feeling. Some people hate the curved displays, which I totally get as well. I don't really get accidental touches, so it's never been something that bothers me. But yeah, so that is one of my main things, is that the display, I think, is just still better, or as far as the display design anyway. Alright guys, number 2 is actually going to be the S Pen. So a lot of people who buy these Samsung phones, I notice, don't really take advantage of the S Pen. I actually really like to use it for just very small things. Like I said, once you get into this $1,000 price point, it's the small things that matter, that make these phones worth shelling out so much money. I like to use this thing it's very quickly to just write a grocery list. So if you're somebody like me that you go to the store, you always forget something, being able to just jot stuff down real quick and just make a quick list is like super convenient for me. So I just really love that, and it just feels like a really elegant, very classy experience when you use the S Pen here. So that is always really nice. Also, I do like to just use this to navigate with. So if you're like in the music, and it's connected via Bluetooth, right? So if you're like in a song or whatever, even if you're like away from your phone, you can stop the track, you could skip. So it's just like a really cool, like I said, it's very small little things here. And this phone is like really good for digital artwork. So if you're into drawing on your phone and stuff like that, it could be a very therapeutic thing. They have a coloring book mode on here as well too. So I really do like the S Pen. Like I said, I probably don't use it till its full advantage, but I do think it's useful for like making notes and just, sort of like using your phone to navigate with. So next is going to be the Samsung desktop support, which is extremely underrated. Literally, Samsung doesn't even really advertise this in their commercials, and I'm trying to figure out why. So I've made a video about this. You guys should see it pop up. But when you go into your advanced settings on the S22 Ultra, and this has been on a ton of Samsung phones, you enable Samsung desktop support, and you literally can get a full desktop experience wirelessly. You don't have to be wired or anything like that. You can literally beam it to your TV or your PC monitor. You can plug it in if you want to, and you literally get this very cool desktop experience, and you can still use the phone as a regular phone. It's absolutely nuts. So it's not just screen mirroring. I don't want you guys to confuse that with screen mirroring, because it's not just your basic screen mirroring. It's literally like running like a little OS on your TV, and you can do it wirelessly. It's very convenient if you're like playing a game, or you know you want the game to be like blown up, or if you're just like you're in the living room, right? You have family members over, you want to show pictures or videos on your phone, then you don't have to just pass the phone around. Everybody can see it. So that's why I said I'm going to keep saying this. For that $1,000 is just extremely convenient, right? To just have like that little extra stuff, right? So I really do like Samsung desktop support, and it works flawlessly. It's really, really been refined over the years, and I think it's just excellent. So next is going to be true multitasking on the S22 Ultra, something that the iPhone can't quite do yet. And I think that's what a lot of people are excited about this dynamic island, is that it sort of like gives you a way to sort of kind of multitask, but it's not actually like, actual multitasking. But with Android, it's always had this true, kind of multitasking experience. So I could be like in YouTube, right, watching a video, and then I could just go ahead and switch to my calculator if I want to go ahead and calculate. And you guys can see I can really have like 3 things open at once. So I could go ahead and like open my calendar, and I still have my YouTube video playing, right? I can go ahead and resize it, and it's just a great experience. Not only that, but Samsung can take it a step further here. So if I wanted to do like more of a bubble kind of method here, so enable a pop-up view, you can see right there. So now I'm in here, and then I go ahead and open up my settings. And you can see it's now like a little bubble that pops up. So then just multitasking on Android in general is just way ahead. iPhone literally does not have anything similar to it. So that's definitely one thing I like, and that's more of a power user feature. A lot of people probably don't switch between 2 to 3 apps. They're probably just in one application. But if you're a power user, you switch between a lot of applications. It's very convenient. So last is going to be the reverse wireless power sharing, which is a very convenient feature that I don't think a lot of people use. And it's just very nice to sort of like, it's almost like a flex thing, because like you could be at dinner and somebody's phone could be dying, and you could be like, yo, I'll charge your phone with my phone, right? And you guys can see here, I go ahead and turn it on, and you guys can see, if you gotta put it on here, right? You guys can see it's go ahead and charges the iPhone, which is just a cool little flex. It works for earphones, basically anything that supports wireless charging. It's a very cool little thing for sure. So it'll charge your watch and stuff like that. So I've always thought that was a little cool thing to have. It's mostly just like a flex. I rarely use it unless I really need to charge like some earphones or something like that. But yeah, that's super cool thing to have. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.